up everyone, this is Brian here, the Crypto Grinder, and today we have here in our studio Danny Lim, co-founder of PundiX. Welcome, Danny.
Hi everyone. Hi, Ryan. Thanks for inviting us here.
Yeah. It is nice to have Danny here, especially after the meetup, and he has agreed to come here and share a little bit more about the business in PundiX and the challenges that were faced prior to the ICO, and also at the same time, I think as entrepreneurs ourselves, I think we all understand the challenges in building a business. So today we actually wanted to keep this interview very nice, raw, to understand more about Danny, and to find out a little bit more about Danny, and at the same time also what's the space like, it's a nice privilege to have him here. So Danny, just wanted to ask, before you started Pundi and PundiX, what was your background?
Okay, so I'm Malaysian. So after my graduations from my secondary school from Malaysia, so I actually went to Beijing to study. That was around 2007. So I've been studying there like for 11 years. So actually I'm still taking my PhD right now.
Oh, so what's your PhD in?
I'm a PhD in law actually.
PhD in law?
Yeah.
Nice,
So my bachelor is in law.
Okay.
And then my master's in accounting. And then I PhD in law again. So I will have my thesis defense on this coming June. So hopefully I can go through, then I can get my PhD degree. So I stayed in Beijing for around 11 years. So I've been through a lot. So Beijing is a good place. So full of opportunities. So I got some friends who recommend me to banks, to law firms, and internet companies. So I work for. I mean that's a chances which is very interesting. I said, I worked for a consulting firm before. I think back in 2009. And then some of my friends actually said, there's a good opportunities in Baidu. So it's the largest search engine in China. So they say, they are looking for interns for their products manager. So they say, hey, that sounds interesting because it's not law and accounting. So I was thinking probably I should give it a try. So that's how I get into the TMT space, the internet space. So after that, I've been trying to do software and hardware, and then fintech and all these things. So I managed to meet Zach, CEO and co-founder of PundiX and PundiX. So I guess it's during 2014, or late of 2013. So I met him. And then in Beijing, so we decided we need to start to do something else. So that's how we get to know each other, and then so that's why we started to build our first gaming companies. Then after that, Pundi and PundiX.
When you mentioned your gaming company,
yes.
What made you decide to go into the gaming industry?
So the thing is that because Zach was he was one of the evangelists in HTML5 space back then. So he has some unique advantages in terms of stacks and business developments and the standards that he knows about the space. So that's why we think, okay, probably we should go there, because back then I was still too young, so I have no idea what should we do. But we saw in 2015 and 14 the mobile games in China, the FOMO is crazy. So and then with the skill set of Zach and reputations in the space, and then with the market effects, then we decided probably we should do something together. And then because I was back then I was helping Baidu to actually expand their Southeast Asian market. So I do have some experience on that. That's why we decided we should do something together.
And how do you find Zach as a partner in this I mean, you've been working with him for quite some time.
Yeah.
So what is he like, as in behind the scenes, not in front of the cameras and all?
Behind the scenes, so he's Malaysian, so everyone knows it. And
okay.
Then, what behind the scenes? So
I mean, like working with him,
he's very.
Is he nice to work with?
Yeah,
or
he's nice to work with. It's just that he keep forgetting things. So anyone, who who really, who I mean for the partners or investors or supporters. So if he didn't reply your message or email, it's just seriously because he forgot.
Okay.
Seriously, one interesting part is that that's an agreement which is really important.
Okay.
And then he just forgot to sign. I mean he read through and said I will sign. And then you know what he did, right? So he signed half of it only.
Okay.
And then the other because someone actually shot him, so he went to their place. And then we look at the contract, right? He said half signed. What is this? And I was like, okay, but yeah, he's especially after ICO, because a lot of things is coming in. Then I mean his rent probably not enough already, and then he barely sleep as well. So
he's very hardworking, by the way.
He's very hardworking,
Very
but
hardworking.
and then that makes the his habit of forgetting things getting worse. It's crazy. And then I remember that's an incident.
What's the funny incident?
That's an incident. So he actually came to the airport 2 or 3 hours earlier, but he kept replying the emails.
Okay.
So you know what? The whole airport actually finding him. Where's Mr. Chia?
Jia.
Where are you? Then because the air stewards cannot find him, then they just flew off. And then by the time Zach realized, and they said, "What I'm doing here? Where's my plane?"
Yeah.
He seriously forgot why he is here. That's why he missed his flight. He said, "What happened to him?"
Yeah, man. I think basically he's very he's very fast moving in a sense, but at the same time also after that he kind of like needs to go back to it. He kind of forgot to go back to it.
Yeah, this is so.
That's called the dedication, guys. It happens to me as well, by the way.
Yeah, so it's like he has he's very good to his worker, nice.
Yes.
Nice to partners, everyone, and then humble. So even if he's with his status today, so he still get to like people from other places. He's good and charisma.
Right.
He's been very presentable.
Yes.
Yeah.
So based on I think based on the fact that you all had really been very successful with this ICO, I think you all have been very successful in mostly whatever
Not really,
have you all done. Okay,
really.
I mean very
Just-
humble, very humble.
Yes.
What is the key to success in building a business? Let's just not talk about ICOs, but in business in general. What do you think is the formula that kind of from your gaming company to the current payment gateway? What do you think is that success? Because it's two different businesses,
Yeah,
right? So yeah.
Okay, so firstly, we actually we are still on the way. We're trying to do whatever we can. So
But I think successfully raising funds is not easy. Just to say that.
I mean,
I mean, there are a lot of startup companies that are always trying to raise money, but
just the right timing.
okay.
We are lucky enough to have crypto guiders, like people like others, and actually supporting us serious, because ICO or raising fundraising from the space is more like a community project. So you really need to persuade them, convince them. So because I like those institution investors, so they will due diligence you, like drill you 10 times.
This is the IPO.
The-
side, or at least
if you want to get money from
Yes.
institutions, so
Yes,
they will
yes.
ask you what
VCs.
the VCs, everything. I mean, they will ask you like your audit report, this and that. But for crypto, they are just more like they're using their sixth sense, to like feel. I can feel you, and then I understand you, so they will actually give you money. It actually is based on the trust.
Yes.
Because the rationale behind VC is that I don't trust you. So you need to gain my trust step by step. So firstly, show me your ID card, show me the financial report, so then I can trust you. But
Yes.
it's work the other way around from the crypto space or the
Yes.
community.
Because there's usually very little built.
Yes.
It's really based on a concept,
Yes.
and then a website, and then after that the existing credibility of the team.
Yeah.
So that's why I personally find the space quite scary. I mean, to be very honest.
Yes,
and
correct.
and before we even did assist not only from a media aspect, but from an investor standpoint, PundiX project was one of the MVPs that we saw was the pause, right? And then from then the relationship grew from there. So apart from that, what about if you were purely tech and without a pause? Do you think that you all would have been that successful as well without a pause, for example, just purely a concept of a pause?
I believe okay, just now you asked about the key factors, right? So one of the things is not, I'm not talking about the mentality stuff, you know,
Sure.
you can find Google it, even you can say, but for our past experience that you need to have something concrete, you need to have a product, something is working, and then to show you are capable to doing this. So because in this space, a lot of people, you know, they keep shouting they want to do this and that, but after few years, I mean not few years, like 1 year, I mean there's nothing out there. So for us, if you are talking about can we do the raising, another raising again without the real product, I doubt that. It's not because we couldn't attract the FOMO or the attention from public. It's that our team won't allow this kind of things happen. So we won't really came out at the first place. So we believe you need to have something. Back step forward. So we step backward again. Listen, because you are taking public's money. So if you couldn't really build the things out, then you will suffer. The
backlash.
Right? Then you will be criticized. Even be sentenced by the regulators. So we actually afraid of what if we promise something we couldn't deliver. So as a compliance perspective, so we say, how about this? We get this product out first, then we go out to raise funds.
Is it a requirement? It's not really a requirement.
It's not really a requirement. Right? It's just that
because there are a lot of projects that are out there that have nothing.
Yeah. So
or air.
Yeah.
So that's why and even so there are times where it's just a app.
Yeah. So it's just for us. Because ICO is pretty risky back then. I mean, right now it's also still is under the it's unclear yet. So we were thinking if the government wants to whack the ICO's project, so they will start from those who have nothing first.
Still have nothing.
Yeah. So we would in this case we would say we have something already and then we are deploying. So if the government wants to whack us, so probably
at least lesser.
Not their priority risk, right?
Yes, correct. Because at least you all have a MVP. And the MVP is it's not a prototype. It's in fact already distributed, and that's something very important. So what I'm hearing is that maybe just to kind of bring it together. I think it's also the mentality of the team or the founders themselves. How hardworking and dedicated they want to be in order to make the business a success. And I think the amount of dedication that this team has put in is really phenomenal, and the reason why we're even still having this conversation after the ICO is for the fact that they are here to continue to build a reputation within the industry, and that's very, very important because a lot of times I think what we've been seeing from this whole space, which makes the bad actors really make the whole, because people always remember the bad stuff. Right, despite the fact that there are a lot of good projects out there that actually can shine, but people always tend to feel and want to focus on the negative side of things, right? So I think based on this, right, how do you feel that this space can be further regulated, or what things are in place, especially if you are someone who studies law, what do you feel could be a good framework for this space? Let's say not including the governments first, but at least within the community.
So so we were actually thinking about that's some story. So so during our ICO, so we actually came to some advisor. So the advisor will actually ask you for 5 things. Firstly, you need to have a legal opinion. Then secondly, you need to show me the tokenomics, which actually makes sense. And then the audit report. The audit report is your code audit report. So it shows that this thing is okay. And your business license, and then the founder's passport. And then why they need this the last 2 things is they want to run through the KYC, the database.
Yes, to see whether you all have any criminal records, declared bankruptcy and whatnot.
So I'm actually surprising because people, I mean back then they say there's no rule and regulations in crypto space, but which is not true. During back to 2000, the October or November, that's something we were actually encountered and facing. And when we try to talk to the regulators, right, so surprisingly they're actually asking for the same thing. So if you are talking about the regulations wise, it's not only industrial standard or the best practice anymore. So the the regulators, or even the well-known advisors, they're actually aware of this. It's just that people, or I believe those ICOs team, if they reach out to other investors or advisors, they actually will ask for this kind of basic materials, I would say. It's just that it's not well known, or all the ICO teams felt that it's too troublesome, so they want to do it.
Yes.
So actually there's some standards along the way be set already. So speaking of which, is there any good providers, or because the okay, you guys probably will be surprised by the code audit. Like you need someone to review your code, like
Yes.
especially actually just the smart contract code, which is actually very easy to review, I would say. So they will charge you tremendously high.
For a simple easy code.
Yes.
Yes.
As actually it's more expensive than the audit report, the financial audit report. Is more expensive than that. It's 2 times or 3 times of that.
Wow.
So yeah.
Okay.
So,
Just this, we are talking, when you say the smart contract, it's just issuing the token.
yes, that's all only.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So they will ask you for this price, and because basically they are actually selling their stamps. So the thing is that right now, even if we are looking at that, we need that documents to verify the whole process. It's just that there's out there, there's so many, I cannot say scam, but those people who actually want to earn that money.
Yeah, sure. So in the end of the day, when the audit comes, or at least to audit that, at least that's kind of the minimal so-called, hey, I've got the stamp of approval.
Yeah,
but it doesn't mean that they're going to be a credible project.
Yeah, so
right?
I believe that's the reason why now until today, which is I know 6 months after my ICOs, things still really haven't really get out, because there's too many players and you never know who you should trust. So that's why the standards haven't really be formalized. That's the problem, I believe.
And the legal firm that you guys engage, are you all allowed to review? Is it in your white paper?
Yeah, we are allowed to do that.
So who are your partners?
You can see we have advisors from Singapore law firms. We actually reviewed it before. So and then a US law firm as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all these I mean, by the way, when you approach them, right? What made you approach these law firms? I mean, because the space was so new.
Yes.
Only last year, I would safely say, that where the ICO boom really happened. So I was always just wondering, how come these law firms could kind of come up with like a kind of a formula or framework. So I'm just very curious, like what made you choose them?
Okay, so
maybe that would be a better question. What made you choose them?
Actually there's a mistake. I guess publics, might think, traditional business like banks, not banks, I'm sorry, law firms or the firms, they are too conservative to have this. In fact, it's not. Okay, so during when we were doing our ICOs, right, we actually went to those law firms and then knocked their door, say, I want legal opinion. You guess what they said? Send me your white paper, and then send me your smart contract. I will review it. They actually know how to do it before that.
Wow.
So they are actually more advanced than we thought. Especially the US law firm.
Wow.
They are very professional. How they're professional and details that could be, they will actually check every single Medium post you post, and that you will even send their paralegal, their assistants, to stick inside your Telegram group and then see,
observe the conversations and whatnot.
And then even worse, that they will monitor your Twitter as well.
Yes, sure.
They will actually ask you, how come you will retweet this tweet, because it's irrelevant, or is is it something you want to imply? They will actually to go to that detail.
In between the lines to see whether there's any.
Yes, it's like, because the white paper is just a white paper, they want to see whether you act according to the white paper or not. So they are really that advanced, I would say. So I'm not to correct you, but it's just that the space actually changed, and then it's not like something law firms, lawyers, they don't really care about this. No, not at all.
They do.
Yeah, they do.
Okay. So in terms of this legal aspect, right? I mean, this is something that we personally as investors we didn't really know about, because like I said, only the ICO companies themselves will be handling directly with the legal side. Okay, so in terms of when it came down to your project, right? What were what's the challenges that you all really faced, or the struggles that you all had, you know, at that time? And then if let's say a company was to raise an ICO, I think this is a very valuable piece of information. So what would be the number one? Firstly, the cost, and also the obstacles that they might face, especially now in this new era. So it's a two-prong. So one is, I think, the cost. You know, that people, because there's always a figure, right? So what is the most expensive thing? Is it the getting out the smart contracts you mentioned is 3 times the price compared to the legal advice. So those two are the initial costs. Then after that, setting up the team, I assume. Then from there it will be the marketing. So roughly like this what kind of figures are we talking about? 6 to 7 figures?
Okay, so that really depends on the marketing price. So
let's say we just talk about general payment channels.
Okay, so
let's just talk about just Pundi.
Okay, just Pundi. Okay, so when you go into any studio or you know media, when you say you are crypto, then they will actually show you another price tag.
Oh yeah.
Okay. They will. I mean, because
Right.
they knew you are rich, you are going to raise big, so they will charge you.
So it's unfair in a way.
It's unfair.
Yeah.
Because
compared to traditionally,
Yes.
if you were to do a traditional fintech payment gateway.
Yes, different.
Okay.
They will charge
How
you.
much more are we talking about?
I heard the ridiculous one 10 times more. I heard the ridiculous one. So, I mean, I won't really say which magazine or
Sure.
which media or which channel,
Sure.
but they organize events. They will organize events and they invite investors, you know, to come in. So they will charge, I don't know, the few BTC for the entry ticket.
Okay.
So,
this is for vendors like yourselves. Not us, right? As in the vendors.
Yeah, the vendors. So,
okay.
yeah, so that's how the things
Work.
I mean, looks like. And then I heard the one of the ridiculous story as well. I didn't really participate in that. So the fund manager, they said they claim that I have like few hundred millions crypto funds, and then I want to invest in you. But first, you need to pay me a certain amount of BTC or Ether to come into the roadshow. I mean,
Okay.
so you imagine a
Yeah.
fund, you know, you need to pay for that.
the fund to come in, and then potentially, okay.
Yeah, they want to do that. Let's say I want to invest you into I don't know 3 million, 5 million. But first you need to attend our Skype call meeting, you know, or a meetup. But you need to pay this and that to be able to be present in, you know,
in our investor group.
You mean if you happen in the traditional way, it's
not like that.
It's the other way around. The you know, the brokers will actually come chase after you. Hey, please, can you please you know, change your PowerPoint? You should delete this message and then add that message. So they will actually help you. But on the crypto space, it's actually the other way around. They will ask you, you need to pay me, and then the rest is yours. I just arrange a meetup and then you go. Something like that. So it's a little bit different. Yeah. So instead of this, right? So whether you are talking about the cost, obviously is, you know, much higher than the usual one. Obvious, yeah. Because people are thinking you have only white paper concept, then yeah, that's something you need to pay us, because we give you the credibility.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's really expensive.
Yeah, it is. Okay, because personally, I think why I think this question is relevant, because this ICO space will only continue to grow.
Yes.
Right, and sometimes having a certain expectation, especially a figure, because everyone wants to do ICO, you know, but do you really have what it takes, right? And that is the thing, because everyone wants to always, especially as a media company, they love to pay us their magical tokens that have zero value.
Yes.
So that doesn't even make sense to us, because this is all the cost, right?
Correct.
To us.
Yeah.
And you're giving us your magical tokens, which we will never know whether or not you are going to be successful.
Yes.
That's a very high risk for us as vendors as well. So that's why when I ask from an ICO perspective, when you are raising funds, you all at least did did the initial, which is the angel investor, the angel round, to get, or at least to have enough funds to kickstart this whole campaign.
Yes.
This whole campaign. So that being said, the next thing I want to talk about are the challenges, right?
Yeah.
The challenges, I think, are the ones that a lot of people don't really see behind the scenes. So while you all were doing your ICO, which is 4 months, how was it like? Was the sleep like, the mental stress part? What was going through the whole team's mind all the time?
Okay, so if you are talking about the challenges,
everything,
it's,
like really.
it's crazy. I mean, okay, so you hardly sleep because the Telegram group will ask you questions 24/7. So and then you'll be stressed because when we were doing our ICO, we are new in the space, so we don't know anyone. So one of the challenges, we need to find the right persons, and then you will meet a lot of scam people who actually claim I can help you to do this and that, do that, but you need to give me the money.
Yes.
So because we do not know anyone, so like people will just come in and say this and that, then they will contact you in Telegram group, say, please give me this money and then I will give you that money.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of scam projects. I mean
Scam vendors.
Yeah, it's like crazy.
Yeah, scam vendors. Yes.
Yeah. So it's crazy at that space, at that moment, and then the connections as well, because people know you are really doing for ICOs projects, so they will charge you high, and then I heard even, okay, that's an investors, they want 5% of our tokens.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's even crazier. So yeah, so a lot of things, and then because you are lacking of exposure, so you're looking for media, and then speaking of which, I should thank for helping us so much. I mean, serious, when we were nobody. Yeah. So right now we are still nobody, but thanks to the media. So you will go for the media part, then they will charge you very high, like crazy, like and then you will face about the law firms, because you are small, so they will ask you critical questions, and then because you need their legal opinion.
Of course.
So of course whatever they say, then you need to follow. But somehow they don't really understand the project, because they are not expert in every industry.
Of course.
So somehow that's a compromise you need to make with them. So if without this feature, we cannot do the payment at all. So it's like the challenges of both sides.
Yes.
I mean, it's like a tug of war. So and then the financial audit part as well, because Bitcoin nowadays there's no the accounting standards in the space right now saying that how can you verify the Bitcoin and doing, I mean, is this your assets? We don't know really how.
Where is this transaction from?
Yeah.
Blah.
And then the ML and KYC. So the know your customers practice.
Yes.
So you need to fulfill that. And for
do you when you did the KYC, was it internally or was it from a third party?
Both.
Both. Okay.
Both. You need to do both. I mean, yeah. So you need to get through all these. So and then all this process is very, how should I mean? It's very troublesome.
Tedious also.
Yeah, tedious, and then also very costly. So for us, we only have this amount of money, and then you need to go through that long of process. So you need to really care about how should you allocate the budgets or capital rightly. So that's one of the biggest challenge as well. So and then the most important thing is, I believe, is to create the trust.
Okay. And trust. How did you all do that? Like how did you all do it?
Okay, so we actually divide into three phases. So firstly, you need to get them to know you. So you need to media coverage. So you need to go to interview, roadshow, and then this and that. To even give out flyers, to make advertisements. This and that. So they need to know you. And then secondly, you need to influence them. Know that you are here and then you are good. So that's why you go to the meetup party to talk to them face to face, and then show them the real products, and then even to upload some videos saying that this is where we are, who we are, and then we are doing this for you. And then the third part, which is the most crucial part, is make them believe in you and then put their money in you. So you have you and then other than these two, so basically after the first two steps, they actually believe in you, you are exist. I mean, you are at least not a scam project.
Mm.
The sense that how can you get the money from their pocket to you is that you need to show the potential of this project.
Yes.
So you need to explain the tokenomics, you know, the visions, and most importantly, the executions of the team.
Sure.
So I mean, people will actually ask like why you need to spend so much time, you know, on Telegram group. It's because that's the first way, or the second steps. People ask questions.
Yes.
So the community matters, and
is it very different from when you raise funds for your gaming
yeah,
company?
it's very different.
And what's the difference? Like,
So-
like what's the biggest difference? I mean, apart from the daily routines that you have to do, in terms of compared to a traditional way of raising funds.
So basically for daily for the traditional like the VC route, you can actually there's a lot of brokers or FA, we would say, the financial advisors. So you just go to them, so they have connections to, you know, few
Investor groups.
So you know, you just go to them
And present.
and then because this is a very mature industry, so the chances you get, you know, to find a scam vendor is the chances very very low. Yeah. So and then they are presentable and then reputable, so shouldn't be alright. But in our space it's different. So if you want to go through the funds, there's a lot of scams there. So you need to know.
Well, it's like paying crypto grinders and then actually you're pitching to air.
Yeah,
but I charge you 5 BTC.
Yeah, you just have to.
Right?
Yeah, so
I mean that's how it could have been, right?
Yes,
in a way, right? And usually there's no obligation that my investors will come in. I'm just basically so-called scamming you or creating that false perception that there is an audience, which is actually very scary, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
So it's a two ways, guys.
Yeah.
You know, we as vendors, we could also say that, you know, we are who we are. I mean, occasionally when we do, by the way, we also do community management. So I do know what you mean. We have fake Ian Berlinas coming into the chat, fake Ivan on text coming in. Yeah, and you know, and we actually had to sift through, because when we do community management for other companies, we are noticing that hey, all these scammers are trying to come in and ask for maybe 500, 1,000, 2,000 for an AMA. I was like, these two don't charge that low. So I was like, yeah. So that was what you were experiencing as well. Because we didn't handle PundiX's community management, but that was what was going on even then. Right.
So,
okay.
And then for the public part is even trickier.
Right.
So it's more like you are facing the public. So the public awareness, because public they don't have the expertise like to really go through analyze the project. So somehow you need to guide them, and then they will somehow ask you what is blockchain.
Yes.
Somehow they will ask you what is ERC20. So I would say they are not sophisticated investors.
Sure.
And then for individual, there's sophisticated investors and non-sophisticated. So for sophisticated is easier. You just need to answer them, you know, the tokenomics part. How's the project? How's the roadmap? Okay, for the non-sophisticated, you need to, really educate them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. And then a lot of them they're actually speculating.
Yes.
And then, like I said, your lawyer, your auditor will be inside the group. So you won't. I mean, you won't be able to do that.
Of course.
But they will keep asking you, the speculating questions, which you couldn't. If you couldn't answer them, then they will not give you their money.
Yeah, which is fine, I guess, because I think the whole idea of an ICO is, especially as an investor, is to participate because you believe.
Yes, correct.
Because you believe and you have faith that this project will deliver. That's honestly all you know.
Yes.
That's honestly all. It's the same as an IPO, by the way.
Yeah.
It's no different, because
Yes.
an IPO is the same. I will listen to the pitch, the investor pitch, or read through the prospectus.
Yeah.
In this case, there's no real prospectus. It's just a white paper.
Yes,
A
correct.
proof of concept, plus continuous engagements with the Medium channels and Telegram groups
Agreed.
to make a well-informed decision or a judgment on should I be participating or
Yes.
not. That's all. So it's the same, because there's no guarantees even when a stock lists on an exchange that it's going to be making you money. There's no such thing, and that's how I find that the space is still very immature in that sense.
Correct.
It's still very immature, and it will continue to have many multiple cycles like that, despite the fact that I would say that last year was one of those years where I think a total of I think we in terms of ICOs, 4 billion. 4 billion has been raised in terms of 2017. 4 billion was raised in terms of, or is it 4 trillion? No, should be 4 billion. Yeah, in terms of ICO funds, and that's a shitload of money, you know.
Yes,
you know, and I think a majority of these companies, 90% will fail, unfortunately.
And even more.
Yeah, 95% even, because what is the incentive, you know, to me, when you raise so much funds, okay? What's the incentive to work hard further? Really, it's just basically your own integrity that a lot of people don't realize, because they don't have to deliver anymore the moment they raise an ICO.
Yes.
But I still see PundiX still working hard, looking at deployment, creating meetups and all that. That is kind of like why we picking the right ones is very important, you know, and bringing them on to the media space and continuously engaging with them is very important. And honestly speaking, that is how I think investors should be looking out for projects like that.
Yeah.
And that's when the value continues to grow, even though it's already listed on the exchange. I think this is something that you know, we're very, very happy to have you guys. And of course, that is kind of all the time that we have today. Anything further before we close, Danny?
Yeah, thanks. I mean, last and foremost, I believe. So yeah, thank you for Ryan, you know, and Crypto Guidance inviting here today. So yeah, happy to share more with you guys, and then we're deploying our device, you know, in Seoul, in Korea, Tokyo, Philippines, Singapore. We really hope to deploy the device soon in Singapore. So yeah, stay tuned, and then yeah, supporting us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And Danny, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
See you guys in the next video.